Is it square to carry cash around? Well, instead, you can send cash using Square. Well, welcome to Digits. I'm Simon Costello, and the big W himself, Walt Mossberg's going to weigh on in this newfangled way to get your cash from one person to another. It doesn't involve paper money. Thanks for being there, Walt.
Great to be here, Simon.
So Square, which is known for its add-ons to phones to let you swipe a credit card, now has a method to allow you to send cash. And in fact, you sent me $5 for a latte. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
And tell us how it works.
So here's how it works. The thing to remember is it's just email. They figured out a way to move cash directly from anyone's debit account in the U.S. to anyone else's debit account in the U.S., a debit card, with just email. And so all you do is you address an email to the person that you're sending the money to. In the CC line, you put cash@square.com, which engages their system. In the subject line, you put the amount of money, which can be up to $2,500 a week in any combination of transactions, including you could make one single payment of $2,500 if you wanted. And then you could type a little message. The email goes to the other person. They get your email, and very quickly thereafter, they get an email from Square. If it's their first time using it, they have to enter their debit card so the money can be transferred. If it's not their first time using it, Square transfers it, and it shows up in the debit card of the recipient within usually 1 day, sometimes 2.
Well, I'm just going to show up here what you sent me. It says buy an NY latte, a New York latte. So I thank you very much, Walt, and I will do that after the show. But it was instant. It was right over, and then you're right, I did get the second email, and I will be dealing with that later. How on earth is Square, this is free, right? How on earth is Square going to make any money on this?
They're not, at first. You have to remember that Square made its reputation, and they're about a 5-year-old company with a good reputation. As you pointed out in the intro, they made their reputation working on the merchant side of things, helping out merchants. What they're doing now is trying to create a service that's going to, I think, make a lot of consumers interested in and trusting Square. They're not going to show you ads. They're not going to promote the merchants in this Square Cash product. But the way they say they're going to make money is once they, have built up a good audience for this, they'll have some premium services. And I gave one example in my review. This is a US only product now, but Square itself has begun to expand to other countries. So for instance, they could charge you a monthly fee or an annual fee if you wanted to use this internationally. And there are other things they could do, maybe a higher cash limit or some other thing where, or maybe instant delivery, which they already have happening for some of the transactions. If you want it guaranteed to be absolutely instant, they could charge for that. So there's a bunch of things they could charge for.
Now, Walt, when you get new gadgets or new things that you're testing out, you really put them through the paces, really like nobody else. Was there any downside you saw to this that you think it could be a deal breaker or just annoying?
Well, yeah, there certainly are some downsides. There's one potential downside is obviously things get hacked. Email in particular gets can be manipulated. Square's goal here was to make this dead simple, so there's no logins, there's no intermediary holding of money in an account like you see sometimes in PayPal. It does go right from my debit card to yours when you set it up and get the money to buy your latte. So you have to trust Square. That's the first thing. If you don't trust Square to be able to notice fraudulent patterns or to be able to resolve disputes, then you shouldn't use this. There are a couple of smaller ones that are out there. This first version, first release, doesn't really show you a history of your transactions. You can see them in your email, but it doesn't give you a central place to see a history of transactions. And then there's one other little one. I mean, most people have more than one email address, and they may have associated a debit card with one of those addresses, but somebody may try to pay them with a different address, and they'll have to go through another setup because Square only knows the first address. So there are a few minor things like that, but this is, I have to say, this is the slickest, simplest, cleanest way I've seen to send money, and not just tiny amounts. As I said, it could be up to $2,500 a week, person to person. It doesn't matter what bank you're in, and there's no fee.
Great stuff. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Walt. And there's more great stuff in your column, which is here in today's Wall Street Journal. We appreciate your time, sir.
All right, take care, Simon.
I'm Simon Constable, and this is WSJ Live.